How to start a buy-to-let property business. Hi guys, welcome back. It's Nick Elsmore, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can start your own buy-to-let business. So first of all, you need to establish what funds do you have available to put towards this new business. So funds. This is going to determine what path you go down initially. So I'm going to break it into two. So let's just say that you've got, we've got money. So if you've got some funds, and what I mean by that is you're going to need 25% deposit to put down on a buy-to-let mortgage. So if we use some figures of £100,000, you'd need a £25,000 deposit. Now this deposit does not include any legals, any fees, any refurbishment costs, or anything you need to do to the property in order to get it ready for rent. So you might need another £15,000 on top. So let's put another £15,000. So now you need £40,000 just to buy this one house, okay? So if you've got that, we'll come on to that in a minute, but let's just kind of backtrack slightly. So if you haven't got this kind of money, maybe you're younger and you're just starting out and you're just starting saving. If you haven't got that kind of money, then there is a way that you can get started. The skill is deal sourcing. And what we're going to do here is we're going to find properties below value that you can then sell on to a property investor that does have some funds that will then pay you a finder's fee for that. Not all property investors have the time. So some of them are cash rich and time poor. So if you go to them with a deal that you found, they'll buy it from you and give you a finder's fee. Typically the finder's fee, let's just call it £5,000, okay? So you've got a £5,000 fee. You do one of those a month. 10 months later, you've got £50,000. So that £50,000 now gets you started with deposits and refurbishments and all that kind of stuff. So you've already got some money, or you've got some money from deal sourcing. So now we're at a level where we've got some money so we can start our buy-to-let business. So what are the next steps that you need to do? Well, I'd like to say that there's 5 steps. So the first step is your mindset. So you're going to be dealing with large sums of money here. It's not like we're going to go and buy a car. We're buying things that are tens, even hundreds of thousands of pounds. So you've got to have the mindset that you're not going to be scared, put off, nervous. It may be your money you're dealing with. It may be friend or family or even lender, the lender's money. So you've got to be responsible for what you're doing with that money. And you've got to make sure that that money makes money. So you need to have the correct mindset. You need to make sure that you're going into this with your eyes wide open and that you know what you're letting yourself in for. You also need to have the correct mindset and that it's a people business. You're going to be dealing with people, you're going to be dealing with builders, with solicitors. Some people I speak to get petrified at the thought of speaking to a solicitor or a mortgage advisor. So it's important that you've got the correct mindset in order to start this business. If you don't have the correct mindset or you don't think it's for you, then my advice is don't do it, okay? So now we've got the mindset, is what I would advise you to do is speak to a mortgage broker and find out, are you mortgageable? So you want to know, you want to get your credit rating so you can write off to Experian or Equifax and find out what your credit score is. Very important, because if you've missed, let's say, a single mobile phone payment, that will affect your credit score. So get your credit score, speak to a mortgage broker and find out what you can actually get, what mortgages are available to you, okay? I'm not on about putting an application in at this stage, but just finding out what's available. Okay, so the next step is that you need to get good at finding houses. So house finding. So this is where we want to be buying. All of the houses that you buy should be below market value. Now I like to buy my houses at 25% and above below value. When I say above, as in, I don't mean, well, I'll explain. So 25%, 30%, whatever, in that backtrack there. So 25 to 30% below value. So if we've got something for 100, I'd like to be buying this for 70k. Okay, so that's what you need to get good at. Finding these deals, getting them at below market value, negotiating the best prices, because don't forget the profit is in the buying. So if you followed other videos of mine, you'll know that I always say the profit is in the buying. If you're buying at £70,000, but it's worth 100, you've just bought £30,000 worth of profit. So the profit is in the buying. Number 3 is that you need to do, most properties that you buy, particularly if they're below value, they're going to need something doing to them. That's why you're going to get them below value. Yes, you do come across properties that don't need things doing to them, but most of the time you are going to need to do something to the property. So this is what I would say, that you need to do a profitable conversion, okay? And the word profitable, because it's quite easy for people to get emotional. And they do things to the house that they would do to their own house. You've got to treat this like a business. You've got to do the minimum amount to the house that's going to give you the maximum return. So standard bathrooms, nothing spectacular. Standard kitchens, yeah, they need to look good and nice, but they don't need to be overkill, don't need to be what you're going to put in your own house, okay? So profitable conversions, what are we going to do with the property when you get it, okay? So you need to think about all those types of things. What type of person is going to live in this property? That will depend on what you do with the property. So number 4 is, this is all about maximizing your rental profit. So now, I'll just write that down. So maximize your profit. So this is all about, matching the property with the type of tenant and the area you're in. So for example, if you've got a property in the outskirts of Birmingham, you can appeal to office workers that will work in Birmingham. If you've got property in the middle of a village in Wales, there may not be many offices in the village in Wales that people work and therefore need to rent from you. If you're in a university town, let's say like Nottingham, Coventry, then it may be that you rent to students. So this section is, I would say, maximize the profit you can get. There's no point renting it to an unemployed person that is maybe going to get £375 a month housing benefit, if you can rent it to a professional that's at £750 a month. So it's all about maximizing your profit. And then the 5th step is that you need to leverage and scale. So leverage and scale. I think there's 7 million landlords in the UK, and something like 98% of them only own one property. Well, one property is not really a business, is it? It might be a little passive investment, it might be a few £100 a month. So it's not really a business. You're certainly not going to retire on one property. You're certainly not going to give up your job on one property. So what you need to do is you need to learn to leverage and scale. The chances are that that £50,000 that you acquired at the beginning, or that you already had at the beginning, you're not going to have it much more. So therefore, that £50,000 needs to be recycled. So it's all about recycling your money in order to buy property number 2. And so that's what I would call leverage and scaling. And not only from a money perspective, but from time. Okay? So you want to leverage your time. If there's a low value task, it doesn't make any sense in you doing it when you can pay somebody else, maybe an agent, to find you a tenant, or maybe an odd job man that can do some repairs for you. So always look at ways where you can leverage your time and your money. So really high level, guys. I do have a training video if you want to go into more detail. So I go into more detail and spend around about 30 minutes going into detail of how you can follow these 5 steps. So in order to get those 5-step training video, if you, there should be a link below, or if not, just drop us an email, nickelsmore61@gmail.com. We'll also put the email across the screen, hopefully, and drop us an email. So just say you'd like the free training and we'll point you in the right direction. So guys, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video.